The reason why I want to do this role, I want to raise awareness of getting what you pay for out of your degree. All of you at the moment are currently paying £3.5 grand a year. For me, I see that as you're paying about £40 a lecture. So if you think about that in terms of if you're going to every lecture, spending 40 quid on entry, you've got to think, what are you getting out of that? So I want to go for university keeping its quality with its lectures. I don't just mean this, I mean tutorials as well, assignment feedback, etc. So say you have a tutorial, your lecture just doesn't turn up, the feedback's not standard, you're being fobbed off with your assignments, lectures aren't as quality as you want. I want to raise that awareness, keeping good contacts with all academic reps with humanities. Also on the opposite, I want to be an approachable face outside of the university. I know it can be quite nervy going to speak to lecturers and say, look, I'm struggling. I know they can look down at you quite a bit. So I want to be an approachable face outside the uni. Final point, please don't vote for Ron. I know I'm the only person running for this position, but I actually do give a crap about this. So, if you just ask anyone, I've been talking about it for weeks, normally while I've had a few drinks, but I do care about this. If you vote Ron, you're just going to get someone who just wants it for the perks, and I do want to campaign for this. Thank you.
Can I have a show of hands for questions? Any questions for Thomas, please? Anything at all? No questions whatsoever?
Any from you, Seb, at all?
How would you improve? Can I ask questions as well? How would you improve your or improve the relationship with reps? How would you communicate with them?
Obviously, I try and sort out maybe a meeting system, or most basic would be something like a forum on Facebook. But I'll try and keep good communications. I know there's now a star system set up where reps all communicate to their head reps, so keep good communication with them. Probably Facebook.
Wicked. Thomas Lowe, everybody. Next up, we have communications for Meg and Jennifer, both come to the stage. Before you start, I will be warning you 30 seconds till the end, so don't let it put you off. You have 30 seconds till when I tell you. Meg, you're first. If you could stand up to the mic, and Jennifer, take a seat when you're ready.
Hi, I'm Meg McGrath and I'm running for Communications Officer. I currently do performing arts, so I'm confident and I'm able to work as a team. I just want to talk to you about some of my policies that I'm going to put forward if I was elected. I want to go further than just an open door policy at with the exec team. I want to make sure the exec team is coming out and talking directly to students, going out and finding the problems before the problems come to them. I want to go beyond just Freshers Week and make it a year-long thing, and as well as freshers, also talk to seconds and third years and make sure that we're looking for problems rather than just sitting in an office and waiting for you guys to come and talk to us. As Communications Officer, I would assist all officers in promoting what they're actually doing for the SU. I want to make sure that you will all know who your officers are, make sure you're very aware of each and every officer's role and what they're doing for you. I've had the idea of doing video blogs on Facebook, so each week a different officer comes up and talks to you about what they're doing for you, and putting that on Facebook and the website, and keeping Facebook updated with all promotion and events at the SU, and also making sure the website's really clear and concise, and also promoting the website more, because it is useful and people need it. I want to work alongside student reps to also improve communication with you and your lecturers. I want to improve communication throughout the whole year. So work with student reps and also come into lectures regularly and make sure that the exec team is known by every student, not just people who go to Bop or Flirt. I want to make sure everyone has a voice and your voice is heard. I'll do that through online forums, and also giving students regular opportunities to be able to come and help out at the union and use their skills to improve the union themselves. That's basically all I've got to say, but I'd really like you to consider me. My manifesto's online, but for now, shut up, Meg.
I'm currently in my second year and love being a part of Winchester Uni. I think it's so important for students to feel included in every aspect of their uni life. And I see it as my role to make sure that all the SU events were well promoted and make sure everyone knows exactly where and when everything was happening. This will help them to go from simply being a student to feeling a part of the community that will be their home for at least 3 years. I want students to know that they have a voice at our uni. I think there's such a huge emphasis on students getting their voice heard, but practically I don't think there's enough done to support this. I would love to speak directly to students where possible and find out exactly what they want and how we can support them. However, this wouldn't always be practical, so I've already looked into setting up online forums for students to have their say, and I would do all that I can to make sure their voice gets heard. I'm also really keen to work closely with societies such as the Radio Society and use this as a key communication tool to not only promote SU events but also to allow students to be recognised within our uni. Because we're such a small uni, I'm determined to make sure we don't get forgotten. I really want to see the uni profile raised off campus and for individual successes to be appreciated within and outside media. I've grown up with a real passion for media and getting to know people. For these reasons, I think the role of communications officer would be ideal for me, and I'd love to be able to give something back to a uni that served me so well over the past 2 years. So don't forget, if you want to talk communications, come and mingle with Pringle.
Can I have a show of hands, please, for any questions to communications candidates? Any whatsoever? 1, 2, is there a third anywhere? Okay, you can take yours first.
Stephen Ryson. I'm part of the Fast Tech scheme here in Winchester, a new scheme we started up, which is improving media communication with a few degrees. What ideas do you have to involve media communication within the actual marking of assignments and the improvement of feedback in degrees?
Take a second question before you answer that. Second. What would you say to people that don't want to be approached and handled by the issue? They like the fact that we're distant and they don't want to be approached and asked questions. What's your idea? Okay, we start with Jen. You have 1 minute, or you have 1 minute to answer. First off, what ideas do you have to involve media communication in marking of degrees? Secondly, what would you do with those students who don't want to be involved in the student union and feel too distant? Wherever you want.
I think that media is a very important part of uni and important part of the uni experience. In terms of actually getting it alongside the degree, I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but I'd be keen to look into it and to find out all about how that works and actually, pursue that. The second question, I think the online forums are a really good way for students to have as much of their say as they want so that they can be as vocal as they want or not at all if they don't want to. And I think that would be my main thing that I'd want to push so that students aren't getting harassed all the time by people forcing them to tell us what they want, but they can actually say it in their own words and in their own time.
In answer to your question, I do performing arts, and they've started doing electronic submissions in terms of with the uni, and I'm a student rep, and we've gained really positive feedback with that. So I want to promote electronic submission throughout the whole uni, and I think it's a really, really interesting idea. And obviously, I'm not massively knowledgeable about media, but I'm really interested in talking to students about their ideas and bringing them forward and making sure their voices get known. And in answer to your question, I do agree that shoving things down people's necks can be difficult, but I think more needs to be done to make sure that everyone knows who their reps are and who they are, rather than just waiting in the office for people. Finding people is really important, but also not harassing them, but just speaking to them, and also the online forums are really...
Hi, for those who don't know me, I'm Gemma Carden, and I'm running for entertainment. I am an event management student, so I'm quite used to doing events, do it all the time, pretty much for life, which is slightly sad, but I find it exciting. I'm just going to go through a few of the things that I want to do. My main policy is to do events that you guys want to do. I know we get given our planners and that's like what you can go to. And a lot of people said they'd like something a little bit different, maybe some live bands every now and then, or special music nights where it's like drum and bass or whatever you fancy. So I would like to set up something through the website where you could put forward your ideas. Obviously, if people like the idea, we can put it forward. So I don't know if you really want to go to an event on your own. Just make the things and like nights a bit different to what we've had in the past 2 years. Obviously, we'd still keep Bopham there, but we'd have like big things on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday night, perhaps even Saturday night if that would ever be around. I'd love to work upon Freshers Fortnight. I've always had a theory that when something happens, 2 weeks is a honeymoon period. And I know that's not quite sad and romantic, but so when you come to uni, the first 2 weeks is your honeymoon period. So why not spend that like a holiday rather than getting used to uni? So imagine an 1830s holiday, but in Winchester. It'd be crazy. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit crazy, but I believe that nothing is impossible and that you can do anything with an event. So please vote for me.
I'm Chelsea Perry-Davis and I'm running for Entertainment Officer. I think I'd personally be good for the role as I work there at the moment, so I've got a great understanding of what works and what doesn't within the uni. I'm also hardworking, dedicated and really passionate about the student union on a whole. My main policy is to focus specifically on improving student events that we've got at the moment, making new events and just basically getting students interacting with each other. Because obviously there's every student's different, every student's got different music tastes, different, like, some like drinking, some don't. So
Gemma, do you need reminding or are you okay?
I think I'm
Good. When you're ready.
For the first question, obviously I want people to put in their suggestions. So if there was a big suggestion that you wanted to do something, then we could put that forward into the event. And just sort of do like one of night's things that...
Okay, Will, when you're ready. And go to take a seat.
Hi guys, yeah, I'm Will. I'm going for Quality and Diversity Officer. From the very off, I want to make you all a promise, and that is that every single student at this university I will treat with the same respect, and I will also treat you as individuals. Next off, I want to make another promise is that I want to continue the great work that's already been happening here at this university with equality and diversity. So keep the work going on with the forums and also with all the events that's been going on, like the raising awareness events that happened for a week this year. First time to put it on. I want to make sure that events like that happen termly. Maybe not for a whole week, but for a day or so. I also want to make sure that I'm engaging more with societies, such as the International Society, or the LGBT, or even all the sports societies, making sure that I'm really reaching out there. I want to make sure that I get in contact with every single person who feels unequal, or maybe not so individual. Another thing is, I'm used to being unequal. I'm actually deaf in one ear. I used to have to fight for my own resources and equality back at home. So I'm used to being on the sort of receiving end, people telling me, no, you can't do that, no, you can't do this. So yeah, I will push for that. Also, I've been on the other side of it. For 4 years, I've worked as a special educational needs representative for every single student in Northumberland. That also works with equalities and diversity. I had to get myself used to the whole act. So everything from sort of where you come from, to how much you earn, disabilities, sexual orientation, religions, belief. You know, I want to make sure that everybody gets their voice said. And, you know, all that kind of stuff, as well as making sure that I've got an open door. Anytime, just pop me a message, and I'll be welcome to answer any questions, anything like that. So I just want to make sure that I'm keeping in touch, keeping the great work going, and making sure that I'm setting up more forums, and just basically promoting equality. Making sure that every single person here, no matter where you're from, no matter how you look, you all feel the same, and you all feel part of the great Winchester experience. So, yeah, as it says in my statement...
Time.
My name's Akil Morgan, from Liverpool. Fortunate enough to come down south, to see Winchester University and be a part. I'm a first year education studies and modern liberal arts student. and running for the Equality and Diversity Officer, Keil Morgan. I had a problem when I was thinking about how to run this campaign because in my experience of discrimination and my experience of this idea we have called equality, discrimination and lack of equality, what I've termed, and you might have seen it on my posters, the bug of inequality, ripping it in halves, Monty Python for coming down. It's quite a subtle thing. We talk about it, we have policies about it, but more often than not, we don't actually notice it. But one of the things that equality, inequality, and discrimination, I think does affect us all is with student finances and funding, and the whole perception around that. Everyone at the moment is pretty skint, well, at least I am, and get to the end of loan time, scraping by. And there's a perception, and there's a system in place at the moment that I don't necessarily think reflects the financial situation of people. For example, your parent could be above the threshold for how much you get off the university in terms of grant, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be in a better financial position. Therefore, I think more awareness, more understanding, and more asking questions about how people are actually able to finance their time is needed. Second of all, I think I don't presume to know everything about equality and diversity. I think equality and diversity and discrimination is such a unique thing, and one of my main drives is going to be forming links with societies and helping societies settle and promoting to people that if you want to set something up that raises awareness about you and how you feel, I will help you a lot with that. And my third point is education. I think to stop discrimination.
I'm sorry. Three questions, please. I see a show of hands. We've got one up there, two here. Is there a third one? Two's quite a common number. A minute. Any three? Okay, take number one up there.
Okay, try and think of a scenario of discrimination. How do you think you could deal with that in terms of your role?
Number two.
I'm not really aware of who the Equality and Diversity Officer is for this year, so how do you promote this so that everyone knows who you are
Okay, if we start with Akil, you have 1 minute to answer these two questions. First off, think of a scenario of discrimination, how you would deal with that. And secondly, how would you make students aware that you are the Equality and Diversity Officer? You have 1 minute, I will warn you for 15 seconds before the end.
I think they're both great questions, and in some ways they tie in with each other in that it is subtle, discrimination, it is subtle, this idea of inequality, and well, myself, I would take the role very seriously. Yeah, all I can say is that equality and diversity, as a mixed race person myself, someone who comes from up north, is very dear to my heart, and someone who really believes and has an awareness of different cultures from around the world, from travelling as well as family members that I have. I think equality and diversity should be shouted about because it is subtle, and the more we shout about it, the more people can see it. And then an idea of discrimination, that's probably a really good question in the context of that, because we often find it difficult to think about where discriminations happen. And the best way that you can tackle discrimination, I think, is education. That's the third point of our manifesto, is that we need to learn what it looks like, where it lies, and what we can do about it.
Time. Okay, 1 minute when you're ready.
Yeah, so with the first question, talking about tackling those kind of issues, if there was a diverse issue, problem to do with it, I would first of all talk to the person as an individual if there was an individual. If not, then I would go and do my research first, and then I would see what I could do. And if there's nothing I could do, I would make sure it was my job to go find someone who can. Because if I can't, and if someone else can't, then I've failed at my job. And talking about the job and how to get myself known and things like that, it's a thing that's so close to me. I've had to live with being with an impairment all my life. And I mean, I shout about it from the rooftops at times when I disagree with things and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've been in that boardroom, I've been shouting at the kind of people who won't help people who deserve that help. So if I can't do that in an office, I'm going to do it on the streets. I'm going to make sure that every single student knows who I am.
Yeah. member of Quality Level and Work Okay, Cora, when you're ready, you have 2 minutes.
Hi everyone, I'm Cora Kirby and I'm running for International Student Executive Officer. My main objective is to ensure that every international student can feel welcomed and can have their voices heard, any issues dealt with, so that they can get the best experience at Winchester that they possibly can. I'm German American and I grew up in Berlin, and I lived there until I was 16, and then I moved to California and completed my last 2 years of high school there. After finishing school, I moved back to Berlin and just to figure out exactly what I wanted to study, and then I discovered Winchester, and now I'm studying vocal and choral studies here. Being bilingual, I'm intrigued by different languages and being surrounded by people of many cultures and countries. When I first arrived in Winchester, I didn't know anyone, and I was completely in a new culture and in very different surroundings from where I'd lived previously. However, the international student population at Winchester is so large, and with the help of Sunita Martin and the International Student Society, I felt really welcomed right away. I hope to help any and every international student feel that they can soon begin to call Winchester a second home, as I have now done. And as International Student Officer, I will work closely with the International Student Society and Sunita to aim to make the transition of first arriving in a new place as seamless as possible and dealing with any issues that may arise as best I can. My name is Elena Labrakos, and I am a first year in Education Studies. I'm also a student rep for my course, therefore I am familiar with representing my course mates' views and opinions and discussing them with my lecturers and other course mates. Being an international student is, was and still is, not easy. It involves getting used to a new country, new people, new customs, a new climate, a new diet, new accents. Leaving Greece, I had to say goodbye to all my family and friends, and for delicious olive oil and like feta cheese. Anyway, however, I do not regret my decision at all. On the contrary, I'm extremely happy I did, because I now have a greater understanding of the British culture and people and how wonderful you all are. Fortunately, coming from a Greek American background, I did not find it hard to socialize, form a great group of friends, and get used to my new way of living. However, I do understand how it could have been more difficult to become part of our community. Issues arose regarding housing and finance during my first few weeks of living here. Issues that were solved with the help of family, friends, and the student union. Thank you. Because of this, I feel confident in understanding and identifying myself with concerns and issues of international students who attend our university. I am more than willing to help them through any issues or problems they might have, and do as much possible to solve them and make all international students feel at home. I truly believe in equality and will support anyone who feels they are being judged or excluded in any way due to their background. I fully understand that this position involves high commitment and hard work, both of which I intend to do to the fullest. Thank you very much.
Show of hands for any questions for the international candidates, please. 1, 2, 2 again. Go number 1.
And you know, the International Student Society, would you split up the International Student Society into more diverse cultural and national groups, or would you do that and why?
Number 2.
I was a freshman security this year, and a lot of people moving into schools had trouble communicating with international students. How would you improve communication with international students for British students and improving making sure the international get their point?
Okay, if we start with Eleanor, you have 1 minute to answer these 2 questions. Do you want to be reminded, or do you know?
No.
Okay.
Okay, to answer your question, well, I would definitely keep the International Society going, but I do think I would, if there were enough members to form, say, like a Greek society or an American society or an Italian society,
say like maybe 15 or over members, then we could offer a more national society as well as an international. Because I know sometimes, like personally, I do want to speak Greek, and I do, but no one understands me. That's another issue. Ask my housemates, but anyway. And regarding your question, I would. Well, I think I would definitely try and approach them in a different way, as well as get them more informed and motivate them to join the society, as well as communicate to us like through emails or charades or any other way.
Are you ready?
I think to answer your question, I would probably not divide it up into separate groups because I think the International Society as it is pretty good, and they make it their kind of sole endeavor to bring people together that have the same kinds of problems, because even if you come from different countries, coming to a new place and being out of your element is always kind of the same experience for people, no matter where you come from. And I think in order to connect British students and international students more, I think it's important to also think about the fact that in Freshers Week, international students kind of get put into their own sort of orientation type thing, and the British students have their orientation. So if they were more interlinked somehow, maybe that would connect the international students more with the British students.
A roll with Sophie, Abby, and Tor, please come to the stage. Sophie, you're first when you're ready.
Hello all, my name is Sophie Farmer and I'm running for Welfare Officer 2012 to 2013. There are many traits about my personality that I think would benefit me if I was to receive the role as Welfare Officer, but I think the most important one to draw upon is the fact that I actually have a desire to care for people and their well-being. Sadie France has done an excellent job in her role this year, and I'd like to keep the continuation of all the hard work she has put in. On this note, I would make sure that chlamydia bots were highly promoted so that we get as many students turning up willing to be tested. Safety is one of the main issues involved with my role that I'd like to focus on. Given recent events, I would like to raise awareness of the safety of students in and around Stanmore. Firstly, I would like to work closely with the community in order to establish a safe environment for students to walk through. Secondly, I'd like to look into the possibility of extending the roles of the university bouncers further towards Stanmore to give a sense of security. Finally, I'd like to try and organise a second safety bus so that no student feels like they have to walk home by themselves. I'd like the buses to have specific routes and specific drop-off points so that all areas of Winchester are being covered and no student feels that their safety isn't being catered for. Another idea I'd like to develop is setting up a coffee morning for vulnerable and homesick students. Coming to university is an exciting step in a student's life, but for some it is a nerve-wracking one, and it can be daunting, the thought of joining a society, which along with that comes initiations, and with initiations comes a lot of heavy drinking. Setting up this coffee morning would allow these students to interact with one another, including myself, without the pressure of committing to a society. As the role of Welfare Officer centres on the students themselves, I'd really like to get a feel for what they believe should be prioritised. I'd invest the time to speak to the student directly about what they want to be supported in, and my actions, therefore, would be representing the student majority. To sum up, I believe that as a caring, devoted, outgoing and bubbly student, I can offer a sensitive ear and friendship to any student who feels they're in need of advice or support. Vote Farmer because she sorts out your drama.
Hi guys. My name's Abby and I am a fresher, so I'm just going to put that out there. Go for it. I'm running for Welfare Officer. Obviously, I think you should vote for me. Not because I am a better person than the other candidates, but because I think my passion and attitude towards this role will make it the best it can be. In terms of my ideas and goals, and I'm going to run through these because I think all of us have got similar ideas, and that's not because we're all copying each other or whatever, but it's because welfare as a whole is important, and the issues that we've all sort of put upon are the obvious issues, if you like. So the safety of the students is my priority. I want to promote the safety bus and the buddy system as well, so never walk home alone. The safety bus I'd like to get a little bit more spread out, so go to Badger Farm, Stanmore, Bar End, so it just covers a lot more places, so the students feel a lot more safe going home from the union. As well as safety, I do want to have some fun with my role. I want to cover safe sex, alcohol and drugs, but I want to relate to the students and engage them in more of a fun way. One of the most issues I want to cover is making myself in a position approachable. I want the students to feel they can come and talk to me, because I am pressure and I'm an underdog, if you like, but I'm not a bitch, so you can come and talk to me whenever you like. And just finally, I'd just like to cover a little bit of information about myself. I have been through a lot of experience in my life, so even though I'm only 18, I've been through a lot more than the average person would do in their lifetime. I've been with people through self-harming and abusive relationships. I've also personally been involved with quite a bit of drug addiction. Can I just finish that bit?
I'm afraid I can't now, I'm sorry.
I'm not a druggie, I'm vote for me anyway. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Tor and I'm running for your welfare officer in the elections. I believe that one of the most difficult times of a student is settling into uni and making friends. It's a daunting task, and as a welfare officer, I want to make this transition as smooth as possible. This is going to sound awful, but from being a freshers crew, finding a crying student I loved it because then I knew that I could help them. Like, I wouldn't want to wish that on anybody, but finding crying students I loved because I could help them. I would also not just have this in freshers week, but transfer it through the whole year, and second, third, fourth, whatever year you're in. I'd love to help you, and I'm here with a friendly face outside of the situation. I'm not your friend, I'm not your tutor, I'm out of the situation, and I've got links to help you. With the rise in fees, accommodation and living costs is increasingly important. Living in Queens, I've had the issues of the sinking building and the windows that don't shut and the doors that don't lock, so I need to make sure that you get your money's worth. I will have good links with the housing officers, making sure that your problems are sorted quickly. One of my favourite things is chlamydia bot. Running around with a pair of purple pants on my head has always been a good option. And also you get the free test as well. I'd also like to include this in my SHAG week, which is Sexual Health and Guidance Week. Here I can have self-defence lessons for students who because of the being safe through Stanmore. Also, with World AIDS Bot, I'd like to give the children and the students the option to be inoculated for hepatitis B. I'm a caring, loving, and friendly face, and I'd love to be a welfare officer, so be sure and vote for Tom.
Okay, and I will show the 3 hands, please. 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, they're the 3 I saw first. Number 1.
You mentioned the police bus, and at the moment there's a struggle to get one driver, let alone 2. So I wonder how you solve that problem.
What was his question? I didn't hear it.
How will they get drivers for the safety bus?
Oh, okay. My question is, I focused a lot this year on sexual health and not really much on drink or drug awareness. I know I've read your manifestos and both of you, some of you mentioned it in that. I was just wondering, could you elaborate on that and how you plan on doing that?
And number 3? Okay, and number 3 down here, sorry.
Mine was also about the safety bus, it's obviously a lack. This year we tried to do the security thing, but obviously we didn't have enough funding to get the security further than the doors of the union, like the kind of funds go down to past Bartford. So what would be your other way of obviously making sure that nobody's secure about it?
Okay, we'll start with Tor, then Abby, then Sophie. You have 1 minute. Do you want me to repeat the questions? First one, how would you aim to get more drivers for the safety bus? Second one is how would you aim to increase drink and drug awareness? And third, how would you improve security further along the route for the students walk home?
First question, obviously I've not done a test. I would make sure that people knew that there was the option to take the test, and therefore would be offering to run a safety bus. With the drinking and stuff, I think the shock factor works really well. I've heard that you can get firefighters with crushed cars, come down to the uni, show them what drink driving can do, and shock the students into stop drinking and driving and being naughty.
How would you get security further down the route?
Obviously, funding is important, and it's really difficult to get the security out to Stanmore. But with the Shag Week, the self-defence lessons could really help students and feel less vulnerable. Thank you.
Abby, do you want a question repeated?
I'm going to start with the third one. It's really difficult. I've been talking to a lot of students about how we're going to extend like security and stuff, and I've had a lot of feedback on volunteer work, which I would be actually collaborating with participation volunteering for that as well. But a lot of students I've spoken to actually said that they would volunteer to just go around in groups, maybe if they're not going out on Friday night, if they're not going out on Wednesday night, to just go and have a look around Stanmore area, and as long as they don't have to go too far, they said they'd be sort of happy to do that. It's quite an unrealistic thing, I think, to actually put into place, but I think they'd work hard for it. And what was the other question?
How would you get more drivers for the safety bus, and what would you do to promote drink and drug awareness?
Well, the drink and drug awareness thing, as I was saying before, really fun. I do have a lot of experience with drugs and drinking with just not just me, but in that sort of environment that I've been living in. And I think that I would be the best person to work, especially with the drugs, because I know how
And time.
it feels.
I'm sorry. First one, how would you get more drivers for the safety bus? How would you promote drink and drug awareness? And how would you get more security further along the route down Stanmore?
Okay, for more drivers for the safety bus, obviously that is difficult, as George said, you have to be 21 and have taken a test. I think maybe we could put an incentive scheme in. Obviously, maybe if one night they decide that they're going to be the driver at Bot and Fleur, the following week they maybe get free entry to one of those events. I think we have some kind of incentive scheme to get people taking the test. That would be fantastic. And at the end of the day, safety is of paramount importance to the students here, so who wouldn't want to get involved with that? With the question of obviously raising the awareness of obviously drinking and drugs, I think along with like obviously what we've done with sexual health, I think obviously if we talk to students about what they think is important and what they prioritise, obviously there are so many different key points within drugs and drinking, there's so many different elements to it, so I think we need to find out what's most important to them within those aspects. And then what's the other question, sorry?
How would you improve security further along down the route?
The other one is, obviously, if we couldn't get security bouncers further along Stanmore, as I said in my speech, working with the local community, if students could inform the university where street lights have gone out.
Sorry.
You get the text.
When you're ready, Sam.
Okay guys, my name is Sam Quested and I'm running for president this year. I am a small guy, but I do have a very big voice. I'm inspirationally minded and I'm dedicated to achieving the best for everyone. During my time here at University of Winchester, the student union has a massive effect on the overall experience I've had, both academically and socially. Over the years at Winchester, student union has provided a worthy service to its students. This is something that I hope to not only replicate, but also improve upon to achieve even more for our students. The reason why I'm running for the presidential position is to face the challenge of current issues head-on and the challenges we'll face at the start of September. The increase in tuition fees is a big concern for many students, and rightly so. I feel it's essential for the students who come to Winchester University to know that they are getting value for the money, as well as the necessary support put in place by the student body. I am a dedicated and hard-working individual who work closely with the committee and alongside the Board of Governors. I will speak out on everyday issues that can affect students on a daily basis during their time here at university. It is every student's right to feel safe and supported during these important years of their academic life. I intend to make a positive change for the new and current students at Winchester University. As head of the Student Union, we will work together to address any issues and concerns which are raised, and we promise to make sure that the voice of our students can be heard. While I work well as part of any team, I am also confident and have the ability to lead. I believe this opportunity will allow me to display my communication skills and knowledge of important political issues which I have ascertained through other roles, such as being deputy head boy at my secondary school and now currently vice chair of one of the societies here at Winchester. I feel it's my time to take all that I've learned about myself, as well as life as Winchester University student, to express my political views in much of a more responsible role. In my opinion, the student union needs a fresh start. While I'm grateful for the services provided to me throughout the years, I have maintained the opinion that the student union has remained static and unable to find new ways to better relate to people. With my creativity and flair, I will be able to push the student union and become bigger and better, far beyond any expectations of what people have already seen in the student union. If I was elected, I, along with my team, will look closely at past events and decisions made to be better, understand the students and what they need. They are the heart of this union, and anything we achieve is not just success for the union, but also the university. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Harry Kodakstow and I'm running to be your president next year. I was successfully elected as Community Action Officer last year, and that was like the best year of my life. I've learned so many things off the other officers and off the current president and vice president. Throughout my time, I contributed to children in need. My role basically works with volunteering, charity. We doubled our total from the previous year for children in need, which is amazing. So much support from sports teams as well, which I really am grateful for. Along with that, I've also worked with Sport Relief alongside the vice president, and that was a massive success, mainly down to the weather. That was lucky. We also set up a mental health forum in this past year with the Equal Opportunities Officer and the Welfare Officer, and that just shows how I feel so important about representation. I love the union so much that I decided to become the quiz host on a Sunday evening, which I've loved so much, and I literally can't wait for Sundays every week. I'm Master Flirt on Friday. I pretty much live at the union. I love it so much. But now let's get on to what I aim to do next year. My first aim relates to hidden costs. As part of being in the exec, I came across this issue during NUS Week of Action. I think it's a really relevant issue because students have never had full pockets of money. I think when you come to university, you have an expectation of having these academic tuition fees, but then expect them to pay on top with printing, with travel expenses, with core textbooks. It amounts to a lot, and we found that some third years have maybe spent £300 to £400, which could come really in handy for you feeding yourself or other things. Safety is a really key one for me in the current situation. Safety bus is an amazing thing, and I'm very proud of what we do with the safety bus. We've got too many buses, and I would like to make use of the second one. I know we struggle to get people to drive them. I've got a driving licence. I didn't pass the first time, but I have had 3 years no claims, so I hope it's I don't think students should be walking home alone. I think this is really key. I think it's great that there's posters already around the union saying that you mustn't walk home alone. It's such a key thing at the moment. I want to move on now to housing. I've got a lot of feedback this week from the students saying that they found the housing tab came a little bit too late. I actually agree with them. If I was in first year now and it was mid-February and I didn't have a house, I would be pulling my hairs out. I think it's really important to be sorted before, or at least give those people who are keen to get a house that chance to go to the housing fair. Representation is so key for me. I love walking around campus and seeing such diverse people around campus. I just love seeing different styles, people from different countries. I think it's amazing. I want to celebrate the diversity we have in this university. I'm a friendly face around campus, I hope. I'm smiling, come my name Kodak, but I want to put smiles on the face of everyone else, and I know I can do that. Chat for England, so please vote for Kodak for president. I'll be so happy.
Hi everyone, my name's Andy Till, and I'm running for the position of president, as you know, for the next academic year. I've been at Winchester quite a while now. I studied my BA in business management here and then did my master's here. So I've had a lot of opportunity to see what the university and union have done really well, what they haven't done so well, and that's given me a lot of experience in an idea of what could be improved next year for your student experience. I've always tried to be very involved in the student union. I've been an academic rep the whole freshers crew. I've been involved in 3 sports teams, done a show on sound radio, and also got experience in the exec team. I was in ethical and environmental officer before Alex Walker this year. I've also tried to represent the student union and you guys this year. Not at the forefront like the exec, but being a trustee of the student union, trying to make decisions to represent you guys. Okay, that's enough talk about me. Let's talk about what I'm going to do for you guys as your president. I'm going to continue all the good work the SU has done this year with regards to academic representation, welfare, sports, societies. Use everything good the exec's done this year and try and build on that for next year to make your student experience even better. I'm also looking for fair representation of all students, no matter who you are, whether you're undergraduate, postgraduate, a commuter, a mature student, and so on. One of the ideas that I don't believe the President's done before, in how we do this, is even if it's just once or twice a year, just going to a lecture at the beginning after obviously getting approval of the lecturer, but just going into a lecture at the beginning, talking through whole classes and just being like, hi, I'm Andy, I'm the President, English cross. Talking about the union and talking about what my role is, how to represent students, because speaking to some people, they would say if you're not on a sports team, you don't get to pop or flirt. You think the union's just a bar, and you don't realise the union's there to support you if you've got any issues, say with your course, housing, etc. Another main thing I want to do, which was also addressed by Kodak, was obviously with fees going up next year to £8.5 at Winchester, and also you guys paying £3 at the moment. It's a lot of money, so I just want to work with the university to work on strategies to reduce like the additional costs, maybe make printing cheaper, maybe encourage lecturers to do more reading packs that I know like courses like educational psychology do to reduce costs. Overall, I just want to be an approachable president with an open door policy, go out there and speak to people that make the effort. I also want to research other student unions, bring in new ideas, and also go out there and speak to you guys to make your student experience what you want it to be. Overall, I want to be a hard-working, approachable, and passionate president and do the best job for you guys I can.
Okay, can I have 3 hands please? I saw number 1, number 2 and number 3. Number 1. Yes. Sorry, I was the person behind you, I'm sorry.
That's awkward, sorry. So how do you feel about the uni's current affiliation with the NUS scheme, and would you choose to continue this for next year, and if so, why, and if not, why?
Second question.
If you could only change one thing in the union over the course of the next year, what would it be?
Third question.
I've listened to all your speeches, I just want to know what experience that you've had, or key experience you've had that makes you think that you'd be a good president.
Okay, we start with Andrew Till. You have 1 minute and a half. Would you like them repeated? First question was, what is your current opinion on the affiliation with NUS? Would you carry it on or not, and why? Second question, if you could change one thing, what would it be? And third question, what experience do you have to make a good president?
Right, okay. As for affiliation with NUS, I think generally it's a good thing because it provides support for the student union here at Winchester. It also provides expertise for us to draw on. I'm aware, I believe, unions like Southampton don't use it, but I do believe the general support provided by NUS is important for the student union, for myself and the other officers, to get more help, more support. As the ethical environmental officer, I got support from Susan Nash, who works for NUS, which was really helpful. That was really useful when I was going into the role. So yeah, I'd say it's a good thing. I'm continuing for the support of us.
If you could change one thing, what would it be?
One thing, try and reach more students and minors involved in the student union. Like I say, go into lectures, give a small speech, 5 minutes. doing a little thing like that and just giving that contact card and encouraging more students, like commuters, and people who aren't as involved in the student union, I think it's really important. A little bit of a problem here at the issue, no disrespect. And what's the final question?
What experience do you have to make a good president?
I think probably what brings to the role most is my experience here. Like I say, I've done a lot for students already, also done a lot for the university. I've worked as a senior student, so I've been involved in housing, I've worked in catering for a senior out there. I've also worked for Empire as well, going into schools and like working on behalf of the university. And just my overall involvement in the student union makes me a good candidate. And being an exec as well.
And time. Any questions? Okay. Well, I'm not sure current view on the affiliation with NUS and would you carry it on and why? Second thing, if you could change one thing, what would it be? And third question is, what experience do you have to make a good president?
Okay, let's go NUS first. I think it's great that like Impressive Fair with the NUS down there, and it just shows you get discounts for NUS. NUS also, I think, bring down our prices in the shop. NUS, I think, because there's other unions that are NUS affiliated, we can learn from those other unions. So it actually encourages us to engage with other, other unions from different universities. Second question was if you could change one thing, slightly controversial. Being an officer this year, we sit on many disciplinaries, and I actually think it'd be very useful for security to have recordable devices on them. I think it would make our jobs, like for the bannings and for disciplinaries, a lot easier if we had a fact rather than hearsay. So I think that would be a valid reason it would protect both security and the student. And the final thing was, what we've done before. Well, being an officer this year, I think I've learned so much from all of you who have also been officers this year. I've also learned from the current president. I've engaged as fully as I can in the student union. But people who know me, they say like, they see me in town, they're like, what are you doing in town? You should be at the student union. That's how much I feel like I pretty much do live there. And I just give it as much as I can and engage with every opportunity that's ever been offered to me. And I'll do that wherever I go and whatever happens after this, be it here or anywhere else.
Affiliation with the NUS. I think NUS is one of the best ideas that's ever been created. Think about it, NUS, you pay £10 for an NUS, you basically get that back in a matter of weeks, no matter what you do at this student union. And I agree with these boys, they've got it nailed on the head. We then progress to the other university, then do the NUS as well. We can diverse that out so that everyone can know how an NUS can be beneficial to everyone. Second question was, how can I change something that
one thing.
One thing I think is pretty hard. I think these guys have done a fantastic job, but I know my campaign this year has been change itself. So it's literally taking the student union as a whole, figuring out stuff that works, that doesn't work, but even the stuff that we do have already can be developed. So it's not changing one thing especially, because I think as a student union, it needs to be changed as a whole. We need to focus on everything, not just the one. And Sadie's question was again, so...
What experience do you have?
What experience? Oh yeah, so I've been here for 3 years, so I've been a student rep for my performing arts for 3 years now. I'm also vice chair for Performing Arts Winchester, which currently holds 280 members. Basically that is just being able to control and being able to lead and construct an organisation. I see the student union as an organisation. You pay for this organisation. So I think being able to have that trust and leadership behind the student president is one of the things that the student body need for the students here at Winchester University.
Thank you very much for coming to tonight's Q&A session. Voting closes on Thursday at 3 PM. Results will be announced at approximately 10 PM on the polls. The event starts at 8, but we don't know how long it takes to count. It will be about 5 to 6 hours. So approximately